Our next guest here on Liftoff is a true inspiration. Dr. Merryl Tengesdal is a retired colonel who is the first and only African American woman to fly the United States Air Force's U-2 spy plane used for specialized high altitude reconnaissance missions. Dr. Tengesdal is a military veteran, aviator, and commander who served in both the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Air Force. She had also served in the Iraq War and the war in Afghanistan. Colonel, thank you for being here, and absolutely thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I have to say, it is women like you who inspire my daughter, Christina, who has commissioned into the Army, and she's currently at the Citadel. But right now, she's in Fort Knox and out somewhere. We don't know where she is. She has no phone or communications, but I'm sure she is getting her navigation and everything else down to the T for when she graduates. So thank you for
Well,
inspiring
that's
women of the
awesome.
future.
Yeah, I'm sure you're extremely proud. Although the Army,
I know. Her first choice, I believe, was the Air Force, but her eyesight, she hasn't had LASIK yet. So, but when she finds out that you've flown those spy planes, I'm sure she's going to really, really wish she was here for this conversation. So, you inspire so many people, but what inspired your military career and what has life as a woman in the military been like?
what inspired me is that I always wanted to be an astronaut. I watched a lot of Star Trek, so I decided one day at 7 I was going to become an astronaut, and I knew part of that journey was to be a pilot, commercial or military, and I picked military as I got older because, quite frankly, going the commercial route was a little expensive, and so I joined the Navy because I most astronauts at that time were naval aviators. So that's how it started.
I love that. And what is it like? I have to ask you because, as the mom of someone who keeps telling me she wants to be commissioned and go to the front lines of the toughest places, and I just cross my fingers and say a prayer that she's going to be safe. What's it like when you leave your family for a mission?
You know, you have this sense of doing something with a higher purpose. So, leaving your family is something that is it's short term, it's transitory, and you know that you're doing something for the greater good. You know, um, fighting for freedoms that we have here. America is a great country. We have a lot of flaws. We are working on a lot of things, but this is a country to be at. A lot of people are still coming in here. So sometimes we have to fight for those freedoms and take it abroad to the enemy. We don't want that fight on our own soil. So for those people who feel that calling, I applaud you. And to leave your family is something hard to do, but we do it and we make that sacrifice. We know that's part of the job, and we take it seriously, and we know we'll be back with our family sooner rather than later.
How do you strive to make sure that with all of your military accomplishments and all of your career accomplishments, that you're also balancing family and just everyday living?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's really a balance. A lot of people say it's controlled chaos. My husband and I like to use the term chaos control. There's a small difference. One is more proactive than reactive. So, my husband and I, we have to prioritize. One week, something may be more important than the next week. For example, me doing an interview today, if the kids have to go to camp in the morning, my husband will stay home from work to take them to camp so I can do my interview. And in order to be able to do that, we have to have very good communication, and we have to be flexible in how we shift priorities around, and we have to make sure everyone's on board from our kids to each other to our workplaces, and they understand that once they understand that, then it's easy to kind of manage. But there's always chaos. It's just the chaos control part. You just got to control that and be ahead of it and manage it. So, I mean, we make sure our schedules are in sync weekly.
I know the feeling. My husband and I do that too with our blended family of five children. And I know that you've recently written a book. What were your favorite parts of the book, and what do you want our readers and viewers to learn from it?
I think my favorite part of the book overall is that a girl from the Bronx at 7 years old had this idea and really had no, figures to look up to. No one looked like me as an astronaut, but I still use the characters of Star Trek to kind of pave this road for me to travel on. And in doing so, man, I've had this amazing adventure. I got to fly for the Navy. I got to fly for the Air Force. I got to fly the Air Force's U-2 spy plane and be the first and only Black woman to fly it. I've Afterwards, I've gotten to be on a reality show, Tough as Nails. I've gotten to be a mom. So in my search to become an astronaut, I've done so much more. Now, did I fly at high altitudes? Yes. Did I become technically an astronaut? No. That's like the cherry on top, but the journey I've traveled has been amazing. So what I love about my book is that I share that with people to let you know, like, if you have a goal in sight, go on that journey to get to that goal. And even if you don't make it, you just have this beautiful life that you've lived and you're able to bring that forward and inspire others.
That's so insightful, and we call it always choosing the adventure path in our household. So really great advice. Thank you so much, Colonel, for being on the show and for continuing to inspire us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. We'll be right back.